Hello and welcome to this episode of the Christian Life Coach podcast. I'm Shanna, your Christian life coach. We are continuing on with the series that I've been talking about for the past month now, and that is, continuing, I guess. In May, I was talking about the lies that we believe, which very beautifully transitioned into identity and how we have believed lies about ourselves that have shaped our identity, which in turn has shaped how we show up in the world. And for a super fun treat, I decided that I am inviting friends, clients, coaches to come on to the podcast and talk about what this looks like in their life. And I am guessing, assuming, hoping, praying that you will find yourself in one of these stories and it will help you to find more clarity and walk more and more in your true identity, believing that you are who God says you are. And today, for our very first guest, I have a newish friend, Teresa Morgan Johnson. Teresa, tell us who you are.
I am Teresa Morgan Johnson, as you already said. I'm relocated to Florida and just finished my certification course with Life Mentoring School. So, really excited on what this journey has been and where it's going.
Yes. Any personal, you just retire?
Okay, I just retired after a 38-year career.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it was so freeing. And then my husband and I have been married for since 2012. Don't do math in my head. That's what spreadsheets are for. We have two fur babies at home. All of our children are grown and live in the world. And did I
Lovely.
say I'm living in Florida again?
Living in Florida, just freshly, right?
Again, third time. And it's sticking
Third
this
time.
time. So there you
Okay.
go.
It's sticking. Okay. Okay. So, what I have talked about in the previous episodes are lies, like lies that we believe that we don't even recognize. And for me, and I think it was last week, I kind of talked about mine, maybe, and and it was just like an underlying belief that I'm not likable. And I didn't even know that it was under there, but it was always operating. And so for me, when I recognized that, I was like, whoa, what? And actually, my first thought, and I was at an event, I was at a coach's event or actually, I was at Love is Magic 2 years ago when I had this epiphany. Um, and the first thought that I had after I wrote that sentence down was, that's not true. I'm like my favorite person. I love being with me. I like me just fine. But my belief really was that other people didn't like me. So, anyway, that was kind of been my story. What is there something underneath that you've kind of recognized has been a driving force behind how you think about yourself, show up in the world?
Yes, I think there's been two. I'm too much for anybody to
Mm,
handle. And the other has sort of been revealed to me more in the last couple of years that um, no one is really trustworthy. So that makes you be in a position where you have to be perfect because you have to do all the things that you expect other people to disappoint you all the time. Um, really from a place of judgment. So it was a hard revelation.
yeah. And like how was it through journaling that you kind of came to these realizations? What was the tool, I guess, that brought it to your awareness?
Um, I think the larger problem of no one is trustworthy sort of was uncovered in some Christian counseling sessions that I had been going through several years ago after my oldest son died.
Oh,
And I think that was sort of the beginning. But then with LMS, doing the journaling and the creation cycles, since that time, really understanding where it came from, how long ago it um, carved out a space in my heart and my mind.
yeah. And so when you were believing that before you had the awareness, like what did that mean for you that you can't trust anybody?
Um, don't want to go all the way down the rabbit hole, but
And also I want to say only share what you're comfortable sharing. We do not have to
this will
go.
all be forthcoming in my first Substack post this Thursday. So I've been sitting with it for a number of days here, but it it comes from a place of childhood mother trauma. Um, I wasn't abused, but at a time when I should have been able to count on my mother, she wasn't there. Um, so can you repeat the question?
Just
Sorry.
what? No, no, this is great. What did it mean for you? Like what did it mean if I can't trust other people, nobody else is trustworthy? What does that mean about me? Or what does that mean for me? Who am I
Um,
because of that?
yeah, it meant that I was alone. I sort of went inside myself. If I was at work and giving a presentation, I could put on the mask of a great presentation giver, but um, one-on-one, again, I was waiting for people to disappoint me. So it really made my world small.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to make friends when your world is small. It's hard to stay married when your world is small and you expect everyone to fail. And at the whole time, it's not them, it's me. So that revelation, looking back over the decades, was just um, actually it provided me with a lot of freedom to understand why I made decisions and how I got to where I was. So it was very freeing.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can see how, and it's the creation cycle. You didn't say the feeling, but it could be. I can't trust anybody. I'm alone. What's the emotion you think when, or you, the emotion that you feel when you think I'm alone?
Well, ultimately, I think it gets into different forms of fear. Fear of being
Yeah.
alone, fear of failure, fear of being seen.
Being hurt, being
Yep.
disappointed, and then you make your world small,
Yep.
and then you really are alone,
Yes.
right?
I liken it to painting myself into a corner. I,
Yeah.
especially in my career, had thought about that a lot. I painted myself into a corner that I can't get out of.
And I love that you said that having that like that revelation was freeing because often we can go down the like the shame, blame, regret spiral. And I always say we can't, I mean we do, but don't judge your past self for the knowledge that you have
Mhm.
now. You can't hold your past self responsible for knowledge that you have now that you didn't have then. So blame, shame, regret, I mean, that's kind of a natural thing, but Um, it can be easy to get caught up in that spiral, and I see a lot of people that do. And also it is so freeing. Like, oh, I believed that, so I behaved that way, but I don't really believe that anymore. That's not even true,
That's right.
which means that small world starts opening up, right?
Absolutely. It's pretty much limitless, I feel like.
Yeah. Yours is cracked wide open.
Absolutely. Which feels uncomfortable sometimes. Your heart leaps a little bit sometimes. Want to be on a podcast? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, can we just say that? So Teresa is one of my clients in my coaching business program. And this month the theme is visibility on purpose, which I did not even plan this, but God. And I decided to have guests on my podcast. So I am inviting the people that are in my program to be on the podcast. So we had a call today and I'm like, "Hey Teresa, you want us to record a podcast today?" And she's like,
Sure.
and she did it. And like she said, she's posting on Substack for the first time this week. So amazing. So, what what lie, like what was the specific lie that you were believing that just felt true that you might not have even verbalized, but you recognize now was operating that whole time? Was it the people can't be trusted kind of thing?
I have to protect myself. Nobody's going to come and rescue me.
So fascinating. And I talk about this in the May episodes, you can find evidence for that being true. Like
Oh,
even
yeah.
now, I'm sure if you were asked to, you could list out all of the reasons that I had evidence for that. And when you start looking, what was some of the evidence that you found that discredited that or that proved the opposite true?
Um, I wasn't raised a Christian, so I think the first thing is that um, I came into relationship with Jesus. That started to remove the Ebenezer Scrooge chains that were around my heart, trying to protect it. Um, Signs that were the opposite. Well, I don't know if this is going to be what you expect, but my husband and I met on eHarmony. Yeah.
Ooh,
And my
fun.
tagline was looking for one brave man. And the subtext there that I didn't write was because I'm a lot to handle.
Ooh.
Um, Fast forward, we've been married now for 14 years, I think. Um, and I can rely on him. He has shown again and again that he's there for me. And that is not, that was sort of foreign. Number one, for me to let someone hold that space for me and be willing to accept it.
So good. And I mean, he had to be brave, right? If
Yes.
that was your tagline, like
Yes.
he had to go
Yes.
in knowing, okay. And I mean, that could have actually gone in a couple different ways. Like, you need to be brave because I'm courageous and I like to go on adventures, or you need to be brave because you're taking on a lot here.
Yes.
And that's a little bit off topic, but it's so interesting to me when I have heard people like say that underlying belief about themselves. it is overwhelmingly either I'm too much or I'm not enough. Like that is so interesting to me how like those are for most women that I have seen that I have talked to about this or heard talking about this, those are the two. I'm too much or I'm not enough. It's
And I
fascinating
think
to
we're such emotional beings as women that when we allow ourselves, either consciously or unconsciously, to allow the emotion, feel it, examine it, that's when the lies come in, is when we're allowing ourselves that space. And if we don't rule it, it will rule us.
yeah. Yeah. If we're just I like the excuse me, the analogy of we can let emotions ride along with us in the car, but we don't let them drive.
Mhm.
When we're letting the emotions drive us, we are getting sucked into that story. We are going to keep reinforcing that story. And when we notice that emotions are signals saying, hey, something's going on here, and then look at that and like, oh, okay, I'm feeling afraid. What's going on? What am I afraid of? Is that a legitimate fear? What's the worst case scenario? Whatever, like going through the process of questioning. We don't question. We just believe blindly. And then it just goes spirals down. So tell me about when things started to shift for you, when you noticed that was kind of the operating system underneath the whatever that analogy is. What was kind of the when you recognized it, then what?
Um, I think I started recognizing it while I was in counseling, but nothing against counselors. But I found that I kept ruminating in that same space, and I ended up finding Dr. Edie and Life Mentoring School and got involved because the coaching looked like it was a path forward. So for that forward momentum to be able to start revealing to myself, because again, I'm still a pretty private person. That's going to be something that over time will be loosened, maybe. Um, it gave me the tools to start processing things myself without having someone else have to intervene. Um, so I honestly not quite sure where I would be if I hadn't gotten an LMS, because I went through some pretty hard times a couple of years ago in 2024 when my son died.
So what helps you to reinforce the truth, and especially when the lie keeps coming back in? Because
Mm.
those thoughts aren't going to disappear. We're not going to like they're not going to magically go away. They're going to keep coming. So what kind of helps you to stay um in intentional thinking?
Sure. I think again, it's the journaling and the creation cycle. It's also the recognition for me, because of my past, I actually had to verbalize to Jesus that I surrender. And that is like the hardest thing in the world. Number one, to recognize that it wasn't just be obedient, it was to surrender. And when I sit down with my notebook, um, and start journaling or reading scripture and journaling about that, that surrender is always there. Because it's real easy to pick up whatever it is again and turn around and carry it the other direction.
Yes. Is there a specific Bible verse that you kind of cling to the most?
Um, I didn't know it's gonna be verklempt during this interview. Um,
Hey, I want to tell you how proud I am and how honored I am because I know that you're a private person. So this is, we are, this is a gift and I appreciate it.
Thanks. Um, so I met Jesus uh when I turned 41, and I didn't have a Bible, and I didn't know what to start reading, and someone said read John. So like literally, and I was going through my second divorce in 2 years. Um, I was going through John, and I got to John 1:5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness could never extinguish it. That sealed my fate because of where I was at that point where I can trust no one else. I can trust him. He will lead me, he will be with me, he being Jesus. Um, so yeah, that's very solid in my heart.
Love that. I'll reference that in the show notes. John 1:5.
Yep.
That's good. And that is the renewing your mind.
Yes.
When I want to believe, when my brain is throwing out thoughts and evidence that I can't trust anybody. I'm all on my own. I have to do it all myself. Oh, wait a second. John 1:5. He's the light that shines in the darkness. And that's the act of renewing your mind. And I know that you already heard this today because I talked about it on the call, but I like my brain opened up today when I was reading 2 Corinthians 10:3-5, how the renewing of our mind is the weapon that we use to take our thoughts captive, to bring them into obedience. And that is what that is the act of renewing your mind. That is the weapon being used against the enemy's lies.
And I think between, it's blurry, but when you brought that up in today's class, I opened my soul scriptures. I have it written. That was one of the ones I had in there. And as I do Bible reading, and even in Dr. E's various talks, I've got 20 pages that there are days where I just start at the beginning and just read them all out loud because I need that reinforcement of who I am, how I'm to live, and who I love.
And that is the weapon. You
Exactly.
are wielding the weapon. I love it. So, what is the identity that you are living in today, working on living in, practicing living in? What's different?
This might not be what you expect, but I saw that question and it was like, oh, that's easy, daughter of the king. Because when I'm feeling frustrated, I am the daughter of the king. When I feel
Yes.
like somebody is criticizing me or judging me, I am the daughter of the king. I am
Period.
covered by him, period. Nothing else to say.
I love that. I write in my planner every day, I am his.
Mm,
Same thing. And that anytime I think any I am statement, if it doesn't line up with I am his, it's
mm.
not true.
Amen.
So that is exactly, I wasn't expecting anything, but I love it. Okay, and what does that look like? How does how does it look different in your life from thinking I can't trust anybody, I'm alone, to I'm a daughter of the king. I have a husband who is always there for me that I can trust? Like what does it look like?
Um, it feels like when the arrows start shooting, I just hold up my shield. A week ago, we were putting our house up north on the market, and there always is a lot of potential drama when it comes to that and emptying the house, packing things up. I found that, and we've moved a lot in the last 10 years, every 2 years. My friends will know this. Um, I I just was like, oh well, it'll get done. Oh well, Lord's timing. Oh, you know, I don't need to worry. He's already got it handled.
Trust.
Absolutely.
Trust. Yeah. So for the person listening that had that same belief as you, that recognizes that in her own life, even right now, what would you say to encourage her?
You don't have to do life alone. Seek the Lord, take that next brave step, and reach out to someone, whether that be a pastor, a friend, um, a coach through LMS. Um, we weren't created to live life alone. You don't have to live life alone. Whatever lie you've been believing, you can turn the page on it and start living in the truth.
Whatever lie you've been believing, say that again.
Turn the page on it and you can start living in the truth.
So right there. That is the tagline for the episode. That is so good. And okay, so Teresa has talked a lot about LMS and ED, and we are both certified through the Life Mentoring School program through ED Wadsworth's coaching program. And speaking of um, changing the way that you do life, you're in Knoxville right now, right?
Right now, yeah.
Teresa's in Knoxville. I'm headed to Knoxville tomorrow, and we are going to be around 300 women that are in this same community as us. And that's kind of cracking your world wide open, right? It's
Absolutely.
not so small
Because
anymore.
I went last year to try to be brave. I knew no one. Um, the second day, I finally took the steps, realized that if your name tag was blank on the bottom, you were new, and started sort of gathering some girlfriends. And one of them actually was in my cohort for certification training and get to hug her up tomorrow.
Yay, that is so fun. I love it. So, if anybody, all the people that want to connect with you, how do they find you?
I'm building my Substack, so that's not ready yet. It will be shortly, but I am primarily on Facebook, Teresa MJ, and on Instagram, Teresa MJ Coaching.
Perfect. And I will have all of those linked in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for being here. I
Thanks for
appreciate it.
asking.
The listeners appreciate it. If you are looking to uncover some of the lies that you've been operating your life based on, reach out, find a coach. If it's not me, I know so many coaches. Teresa is a coach, and it is life-changing. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have somebody else for next week. We'll see who. It'll be a surprise to all of us. Remember that life coaching is life-changing, one renewed thought at a time.